So there's this really powerful creation myth from the Vedic tradition, and this is this churning of the Milky Ocean. And I want to bring this into the disturbances that we feel when we're either working with yoga asana, breath work, or even flower essence therapy. It's this churning that is necessary as this gateway in so we can see through the disturbance where we have obstacles, where we are blocked, where we have undigested emotions or experiences that are perpetuating this discomfort that is preventing us from growing. So I'll give you an example. I had a client one time, and this was just a few years back. He was in his late 60s, and he was still crippled emotionally and even in his own maturity of not really growing and evolving in life. So he's kind of frozen due to his relationship with his mother, which was very toxic. When we met, it was one of the first essences that we worked with after stabilizing him, after grounding him and ensuring that he was safe and resourced. We went into the mother wound, and literally the first dose, his mom had been passed away 4 years, by the way. The first dose, he had a dream. It was the first dream that he had where his mother visited since her passing, and they were in a house that he said was very familiar. However, it wasn't their house. But she was berating him. She was so cruel. And he was able to see in this lucid way, being the witness in this dream realm, how she had been treating him. And it definitely ruffled his feathers. It was very uncomfortable. He woke up feeling nauseous. He reached out to me, which I'm glad he did. And we were able to hold the space for the discomfort. With flower essences, much like with breath work, with yoga therapy, we're working in the subtle realm so we can titrate it. We can bring it back if it's too powerful. But he decided, no, I'm going to continue. I'm going to go on. And it was just one more dose that he took. It wasn't like 4 doses. The power of the subtle can be pretty powerful. He had another dream the following night, second night in a row. And this time, as he was witnessing what was happening in the dream, he started to see in her dialogue her own pain, her own fears. And he started to see with a slightly different perspective how it was not his stuff. She was projecting onto him. And he was still frozen. He still was just like, oh my gosh, this is very uncomfortable. Couldn't do much about it. But at least he was seeing what was happening. What an aha. Third night, he finally started to have agency. He was messy. He was trying to share his feelings. She was berating him. And then finally, more lucidity came forward and he was able to really say, no, you can't treat me like this, Mom, And so they had the dialogue that they needed to have. Fourth night, she no longer came to him in his dreams. He was able to reclaim the parts of himself that had been belittled, crushed, offended in very cruel ways by the person who was supposed to be nurturing him and tending to him. And in this movement of the energy and emotions and this reclamation of empowered self, he was able to heal. He was able to heal. And so it was like churning that Milky Ocean. The discomfort comes up first, but then we can look at and weed through what's underneath. It's empowerment, it's abundance, it's delight, it's dharma. So if this is something that interests you, I invite you to Plants Drop Wisdom, where we get to work with the power of flowers and how this is looked at through the lens of yoga for deep healing and healing of the subtle bodies that are often hard to get to. These are the access points. We have tools to get in. We have tools to heal, tools for your empowerment and dharmic living. Visit thewildtemple.com/plants, and that will give you everything you need to know.